Final team for the squad preview of the Asia Cup 2025, and it's the hosts themselves, United Arab Emirates. And we have Orko once again with you. Orko, it's UAE, and we're going to discuss about. You cannot take away their side because they are the host and they know the conditions pretty well. First of all, let's take a look into the squad, and here it is. Skipper Mohammad Wasim, I think he's going to be the standout player for UAE every single time they make it to the ICC tournament. Alishan Sharafu is there. Aryan Sharma is there, Asif Khan, Dhruv Parashar, Ethan D'Souza, Haider Ali, Harshit Kaushik, Junaid Siddiqui, Mutiullah Khan, you have Mohammad Farooq, Mohammeduddin Jawaluddin, Mohammad Zaheb, Rahul Chopra, Rahit Khan, Simranjit Singh, and Sagir Khan. So this is what the squad looks more or less for UAE. They have announced it way before, but my thoughts on whatever you look into the squad, you may say inexperience is there, but there are plenty of players that the age is above 30. So experience in the domestic level is pretty much there. If I start with the captain himself, Mohammad Wasim, he's still providing runs at the top of the order.
Definitely. I mean, he has that staggering hitting ability that people often boast about because whenever he comes to bat, he's someone who tries to take the attack to the opposition. So I think he is the one who would want to lead from the front. And perhaps the other players, if they continue, doing their roles to perfection, they can pack a good punch. But definitely a lot relies upon how the captain performs with the bat and also in terms of spirited leadership.
Absolutely, he needs to be seen because in the four matches in the Tri Series with Afghanistan and the other country being there, he scored 163 runs in those four matches. So he has been in form. But my question for you, Orko, more or less, is that against big sides, against stronger nations, as a captain, will Wasim be an inspiration for the youngsters, or will him also get testament against the big sides, the likes of India, Afghanistan, and others?
Well, definitely, I think he has to be the inspiration for the side because, firstly, he's the captain. He comes in with wealth of experience, and he also knows that there are teams which start off the way UAE did, and they end up becoming a big side. I mean, like maybe 5, 6 years ago, we never expected Afghanistan to be the team to beat in Asia. I mean, they are a team that people consider as contenders for the Asia Cup as well, apart from India. So I think to pack that sort of a punch, you need a stable progression and a gradual positive progression. And it starts with the experienced guns, specifically the captains. I think he has to be the one who needs to perform and lead by example. And if the others also compliment him, then they definitely can show some growth, which is much required for their country's cricket.
Perfect. But when it comes to UAE themselves, and we understand that they are not entering the Asia Cup as one of the favorites, certainly not. But keeping aside, they are the host and they will play in conditions where they know throughout every corner of the ground. Does UAE enter this Asia Cup with big dreams, but as always, fragile grounding?
Definitely, they enter with big dreams and fragile grounding, as you rightly said. But yes, they have some, knowledge about these conditions. Definitely, because they have played here all their life. They have certain players who have played in other leagues as well. So I think if they use that to perfection, and also a lot depends upon how they bat second, because there was a stat which we were talking about that they don't chase really well, and in UAE you are required to chase well because the dew comes into
Correct.
play and often decides
Correct.
games a lot when you win the toss. So I think if they chase well, the spinners need to come into play. The pacers up front also have a thing or two to prove. So if they do that and perhaps manage to win a game or two, then we never know. They can certainly knock at the door of bigger teams. I think they definitely are not contenders to win the trophy, but if they win at least a game or two, that would do a lot of good to their confidence.
Understandable, but as you said about them not being able to chase matches, yes, if you talk about the numbers in the Tri Series, four games, all four they have lost while chasing. Three of them have been losing by a margin around the 30s. Well, they were very good fight in the last game. So your thoughts, because now the match timing has changed. 30 minutes later, it has been moved to 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So certainly, Dew is expected to come and play in the second innings.
Definitely, Dew will become an even bigger factor, because of this little change. So I think they need to learn how to chase because even Afghanistan, if you remember the team we talk about for inspiration for certain associate nations, I think even they had a problem of chasing, but slowly and steadily they have developed that template where they approached games looking at the score, dividing matches into phases or overs. like Gurbaz used to take them on, then Zadran used to be the anchor. I think if they find such players and assign roles to each of them, and once they get used to playing that to perfection, even against high quality teams, they will certainly grow as a nation. But again, to do that against top quality sides would be a challenge. So we have to see how they start. But I think the Asia Cup is the perfect, the arena for them to showcase their skills, especially because they are playing at home.
True that, true that. As they're playing at home, it's a perfect stage for them to provide the skills and prove it against big nations like India and others. But Mohammad Wasim, as I said, he's going to definitely open the innings. You have the likes of Asif Khan, Alishan Sharafu is also there in that top order list. Out of these three big names in UAE, at least, who do you think has to take charge, especially in the power play? Because nowadays in T20s, we say power play is so important. So who is it? Is it Wasim once again?
Definitely. I mean, he's the captain. He has to lead from the front. I mean, he has to be bankable enough to not just score runs quickly, but score a lot of runs. So I think that's a big challenge for him. Taking on the entire bowling attack of the opposition as a captain is not easy, especially from ball one. But he has to do it. That's how teams start when they want to rise as a nation in cricket. And even someone like Alishan Sarafu, he has also played a bit of domestic cricket and also certain leagues around the world. The ILT20, he was even part of the Abu Dhabi Night Riders, if I'm not wrong. So he has mingled with certain superstars of the game, and if he uses that experience well, he definitely also would become a key player to complement the likes of Mohammad Wasim and perhaps stabilize the batting, because for teams like these I think the batting is what matters, because if you don't put up good scores or chase the targets provided to you, you don't really stand a chance.
Absolutely, and you talk about Wasim at the top of the order. Now he has played for UAE so many years. He has surpassed Rohit Sharma as the sixth hitting machine in the T20I history as well. That's most because he's the captain of UAE, just like Rohit was during his time in India. But your thoughts on what could possibly be for the middle order? Because when you talk about small nations, you generally don't get much of to analyze, to be honest, and that could be coming out as an out of the box thing. Someone like a Dhruv Parashar or Heather Ali, they can carry out a surprise packing into the UAE lineup.
Definitely, someone has to step up, and I think Haider Ali is someone whom they rate pretty highly. I've heard his name quite a few times that he has that ability to become the future of this team. So if he really gets his the talent going, then I think it will be useful. And most importantly, when you talk about teams, as you rightly said, these are teams which often have a problem, in the middle order. Teams often get off to good starts or maybe struggle
Correct.
in the power play, but they lose their way out in the middle order. Perhaps they go a bit too conservative, or they lose wickets in heaps trying to attack the opposition. So I think if they sort that little balance out as to knowing when they should attack and when they should not, I think they stand a formidable chance. But again, against big teams, that's not going to be easy.
It would never be easy again, big team. But you need good bowlers too in your side, just like we discussed about the top order. I think a couple of names which has impressed, especially in this try series, has been Rohit Khan and Junaid Siddiqui. Siddiqui has the experience. Rohit Khan has also been amongst the radar. These two with the new ball, how important it will be for UAE with the ball in hand, especially in the power play.
Definitely. I mean, Rohit Khan has been in form, so he'll be crucial. And Junaid Siddiqui would be, the leader of the attack. He's wealth of experience, as we have already talked about. I think he will be the one who decides proceedings in the power play, because you do
True.
need wickets up front. So I think such kind of bowlers are what really need to create a lot of impact if you want to stand a chance in a competitive tournament with high stakes, especially at home. So I think Junaid Siddiqui will play a very important role for this side.
Absolutely, and how important are spinners for in a tournament like the Asia Cup? Every Asian side will have quality spinners. We know the big ones have a quality spinner, but can UAE also have a couple of good spinners to slow and squeeze the runs after the power play?
I mean, they have to find a way. I mean, they do it or not, that obviously time will tell. They need to find a way, because in UAE, you often know that, ball does do a bit, it does help the slow ball bowlers as well because of the big boundaries and all. But again, if dew comes into play, that becomes a bit difficult. So, as we already talked about, toss being an important factor, how well
Correct.
you chase becomes an important factor. And spinners need to come into play because they dictate the run flow, the speed of runs in the middle overs. I think if UAE really needs to pack a punch, again following the template of Afghanistan, because they are again gifted with a number of great spinners. If they also have one or two spinners who do enough performances, then I think they have a certain chance.
They definitely do have a certain chance. What about the players to watch out for? Three names have gone from the UAE side. Here it is. Mohammad Wasim, Junaid Siddiqui, and Alishan Sarafu are my three players to watch out for. Any different names from your end, Orko?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, these three will be crucial for them. They are a vital cog in the tank for them, especially the starts which Wasim would provide. Then Sharafu would take over. You really need to know how quickly they play and also how many runs they score. I mean, if you just get out for a paltry 10 or 20 runs, that wouldn't do any world of good
True.
for them. So I think one of them or two of them, if not more, should, play the bigger innings, 60, 70 run kind of knocks more often. And up front with the ball, Junaid Siddiqui needs to strike.
Correct.
And only if such kind of consistent performances come, they would pack a punch. And as you rightly said, they need to take one step at a time, not perhaps look to enter the final of the
Exactly.
tournament. Maybe start on with winning a game, maybe trying to win the second game. And once the slow progression and winning becomes a habit, I think they will definitely become a formidable team.
100%. Need to take one game at a time, and that's it. That's what you rightly mentioned about. But playing 11 is where we come to. More or less, this has been the 11 in the Tri Series, and we stick to this. Let's take a look into that. Mohammad Wasim is the captain. Zuaib Khan is his opening partner. Asif Khan, Alishan Sarafu, Rahul Chopra has been the wicketkeeper. Harshit Kaushik, you have Haider Ali, Mohammad Farooq, Mohammad Rohit Khan, Junaid Siddiqui, Simranjeet Singh has been the other bowlers as well. More or less a settled 11. You think will they make any changes, any debuts in a big tournament like this?
I don't think so. I mean, because this is a very important tournament in the context of their country's cricket. So I think you really have to rely upon stability. And I think the players that they already have, as you mentioned, do have a certain amount of skill sets. But will they be able to bring it up against, the big guys? That will be a thing that only time will tell. But otherwise, I don't see any debutants as of now, unless, certain enforced changes come in. So they still look settled. But is it enough standard to compete with the big guns? That's something which we have to see.
We definitely have to see, and we will see what happens. But Group A, not a group of death, just like we discussed about Group B. India is there. You have Oman as well, another country for UAE to face. Your thoughts? Is it India plus some other country, or is it UAE having an outside chance to proceed to the semis?
Well, I think it definitely would be India and the other country because UAE is still, pretty much early days into playing such high level cricket. But again, if they really show a mercurial rise in quick time, we never know. I would be happy to be proven wrong. But I don't think that they really have a chance to upstage the big boys as we have talked about alongside
Can they
India.
manage to
So
defeat the likes of Oman?
perhaps possibly because Oman again is a team which is coming in with some form. They played even the T20 World Cup and did manage to surprise many teams. But I do believe that because they're playing at home, they have that kind of familiarity with the conditions, and maybe that would work for them and perhaps be enough to upstage Oman. So that will be an interesting clash to watch.
Okay, despite being the host, Orko says it's not going to be UAE that is making to the semis. And we shouldn't be surprised about that, but wish them luck because they have the skill set. They have a good side on paper. They are playing good cricket. Can they get over the line and get some confidence under the belt as well? Thank you so much, Orko. UAE squad discussion for the Asia Cup. That's all we have for now. We are building India's smartest cricket community. Subscribe to become a part of it.